We are live.
Walter, participants join பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்களா?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Walter, it is 1:25 only, no?
It's okay, ma'am. We have many joining us.
We'll do the prelims, Savitha.
Okay,
And when
okay.
Sir starts, it will be 1:30.
Okay, ma'am, okay.
A very good afternoon to all the attendees, esteemed faculty members, and research scholars who have joined us despite the setback we had this morning. We apologize for the same. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Faculty Development Program on Futuristic Trends of Language and Literature, Impact on 21st Century Learners, organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, Chennai. The Department of English and Other Foreign Languages has been very vibrant throughout this COVID-19 period, as well as the entire academic year 2019-20. And we have seen a plethora of programs organized by our devoted and enthusiastic faculty team. It is only due to the incredible support we have had from the teaching fraternity, not forgetting our beloved students who have helped us make all our events successful. And that is why we have rolled out this FDP. Today, day one of the FDP is going to be a live webinar on post-humanism, a revelation or revolution. And we have in our midst Dr. S. Veeramani, Assistant Professor in English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, who is going to deliver an enlightening lecture presentation on this topic. Before we move on to the welcome address, I would like to gently remind all the attendees who have joined us today to stay with us till the end of the session to access the quiz and feedback link. And please do not forget to post your queries, if any, in the live chat stream on YouTube, only during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And there will not be any mid-session attendance form today. I would like to call upon now Dr. Rema, Professor and Head, Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Walter. Apologies to all the attendees for the technical glitches we faced this morning. I'm happy and I'm sure all of you would have joined us this afternoon also. So happy noon and hearty welcome to the 1 week FDP on futuristic trends of language and literature impact on 21st century learners. As teachers of English, I think we need to update ourselves with the recent trends related to language and literature and to interest the 21st century learners. With this in mind, the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, presents a 1 week FDP, which is going to take you through talks based on English language and literature, German, French. Juncture, I feel privileged to share the information 2,900 registrations for the FDP. I thank all the participants once again. On this first day of our FDP, we present before you Dr. Veeramani, Assistant Professor in English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, who will share his expertise on the topic Post-humanism, a revelation or revolution. Day 2, we move from literature to language, and Dr. Deepish, ELT expert teacher trainer, will enlighten us on contextualizing English language and ELT in India. On the third day, Dr. Adeline Albert, Associate Professor and Head Department of French, Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, will take us through the role of theatre in French language teaching. Day 4, we have with us our own former colleague, a young entrepreneur and a vibrant young man, Mr. Jay Senduran. He will deliberate on why learning German is a good investment. On the fifth day, Mrs. Uma Balu, founder, entrepreneur, Sahara Asia, will join us to motivate you on the topic Let's Learn Japanese. On the last day, that is day 6, we will end on a literary note again with Dr. S. Kumaran, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, Thiruvalluvar Government Arts College, Rasipuram, will enlighten us. On behalf of the Department of EFL, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, I thank and welcome all the participants. I place on record my sincere gratitude to all the speakers and the speaker of today, Dr. Veeramani, Assistant Professor in English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, for his kind consent. Thank you, sir, and welcome. May I now hand the forum over to my colleague, Dr. Savitha.
Thank you, ma'am. The secret of getting ahead is getting started, says Mark Twain. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our esteemed guest and speaker, Dr. S. Veeramani, on day 1 of our week-long FDP program on futuristic trends of language and literature, impact on 21st century learners. He is going to give a talk on post-humanism, a revelation or revolution. He had completed his master's and doctoral degree from Bharatidasan University. He had been teaching English for more than 15 years as assistant professor at St. Joseph College, Trichy, Aringer Anna Government Arts College, Namakkal, and is presently associated with Government Arts College, Kulithalai. Dr. Veeramani has published more than 20 papers in national and international journals and authored 2 books titled The Rudiments of English Communication and Ilakkiya Kotpadugal Literary Theories. He has received a number of awards for his quality teaching, and he has also been a resource person and chaired sessions in over 30 conferences. He is also a recognized research advisor, doctoral committee member, an external examiner for research scholars, editor, member, and reviewer in international journals and professional bodies. We are all very pleased to have you, sir, amidst us today, and I welcome you to take over the forum. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Dr. Rema, head of the Department of English, SRM Institute of Technology, and she is heading the Department of English and other foreign languages. And Dr. Savitha, the convener of this program, and Dr. Albert for doing all the technical things, and my good afternoon to one and all. And first of all, I have to apologize for that some technical issues and technical problems happened earlier. Actually, we said good morning. Now we said good afternoon. So that's the problem here. Okay. Anyway, I I begin my session with presenting my presentation. I would like to share my screen. It takes some time. Sir, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir. You can start your presentation, sir. You can open your file.
Yeah, I can. I'm doing. Yes, my dear fellow colleagues and participants today, I'm going to give a talk on post-humanism, a revelation or a revolution. First of all, we have to have some definitions and the explanations of what is post-humanism. Actually, Catherine Hales, she wrote a book called that is how we became post-human, and she is said to be have coined the term called that is post-human. And actually, this book has been written in 1999. That is, now we are living in 2020, but it was written in 1999, and you see that in those days itself, the people became post-human itself. Okay, post-humanism. They started experiencing post-humanism. What Foucault says is it is general humanism is nothing but it concocts with the religion, science, and politics. So these are all the major points which are consisted only in humanism, whereas in post-humanism we talk about machine, animal, and human, and cybernetics and technological oriented things. And we have that R.L. Ratsky says post-humanism is nothing but a narrative historical change. You find that it is in those days how we were living, and in the middle of our life how we were living, and after that how we are living at the present situation, along with the this technological development and scientific advancement, especially the communication technology and the computational networks and so on. So that is the point we must understand about the definition of post-humanism. And then Bruno Latour says that the humans are treated as non-humans, and the non-humans are treated as humans. Vice versa concepts are taking place in post-humanism. And then the cyborg, that means a man is assisted with the technology. A man is assisted with the any electronic gadget is called a cyborg. Okay, cyborg stands for post-humanism. Post-humanism stands for cyborg. Okay, so humanism, which talked about only the religion, science, and the basic science and basic politics and religion and so on. Okay, there was a hierarchy in humanism. There was a hierarchy in humanism, and even there is a dichotomy between animal, technology, and human being in those days. Whereas in post-humanism, there is no demarcation between roles among these technology, animals, and human beings. That is the point I would like to make. And then here, Kant's essay, Immanuel Kant's essay in 1784, he wrote that essay called "What is Enlightenment?" In that, what he says is a courage to use your own intelligence. Everybody has to have the courage to use your own intelligence. So this is the basic for the development of a science in these days. Okay, so everybody has the courage to use our own intelligence to create something new, to create something new progeny and so on. Okay, and then we can go to the next point, that is logic of life. Logic of life. It is given by Francois Jacobs. Francois Jacobs, the logic of life, which talked about the program. The program in the sense, a human being and everything is programmed in a perfect manner. Here we find that heredity, information, messages, and codes, these things are related in our human beings life. Okay, the information, the human being are packed with the information. Human beings are packed with messages. Human beings are packed with the codes and so on. So this idea is taken from Husserl and Saussure. Okay, and then the body is viewed as virtuality. So now we are facing this virtual reality right now. I am here in Trichy. I am talking about post-humanism, and in across India, in pan India, people are listening to me. So this is the body is viewed as virtuality, and then there is a paper called Computer Machinery and Intelligence. It is written by Alan Turing, and he says, what he says is, intelligent machine and intelligent human being. Intelligent machine and intelligent human being. So there is no difference between machine and a human being. That is the point we must understand. Okay. In Derrida also says in Of Grammatology, cybernetics rejects the concept of a soul, whereas in earlier, before the advent of deconstruction, in earlier metaphysical concept was there. Okay, so then after deconstruction and after postmodernism, that metaphysical concept is rejected. So like that, here now we have that cybernetics have come, and this particular cybernetics have rejected the concept of soul. It has rejected the concept of life, the value, choice, and the memory to separate the machine from man. So there is no demarcation between machine and human being. Everybody is equal. Either man or human being or animal, everything is equal. That is the ultimate point of post-humanism and so on. Okay, and then what is the need of studying post-humanism? We must have certain things about what is already we had some definitions about post-humanism in the previous slides, and now we have to have what is the essential reading, what is the need of studying post-humanism and so on. So it interrogates, as I told earlier, it interrogates hierarchic structure, and it is the eradication of life systems. Life system in the sense, in a particular order, in a particular perfection, people should behave. So that is the life system. After the advent of post-humanism, everything is eradicated, including the life system and the hierarchic structure and so on. So now we have another point is normative subjectivity. Normative subjectivity is nothing but it featured life system into animal, plant, and human. So everything is equal. Okay, as I told you, everything, everybody, irrespective of gender, irrespective of a machine, irrespective of what should I say, technology, everything is equal. And what it is a very important point here is to say exclusivism. Exclusivism is not to be embraced embraced. Okay, but exclusivism should be included in this post-humanism. There is no need for exclusivism. Exclusivism in the sense, yeah, people is rejected, a person is rejected because of his ailment or his inability or her inability and so on. So we should not exclude any person. Inclusivism must be there in post-humanism. And then established to cyber-human democracy. That is the real democracy. We can say that the real democracy is people can say and go walk and do anything else. But what I tell you is, according to the post-humanism, there is no difference, and then the cyber human democracy is there. So any person can express his own or her own ideas through the network or through the technology and so on. that democracy is maintained by the cyber technology, isn't it? So that is the point. And also the disability studies, it interrogates the existing normative and complete human being. Who is called complete human beings? Nobody is called complete human beings. But we people have structured that this particular person is a complete human being because all his bodily parts are everything is functioning well. He has perfect two legs, he has perfect two hands, and so on. But this particular disability studies, what we say is this is because of his handicapped, he is unable to do something. So that kind of a disability study is not to be encouraged. But what I tell you is there is no disability. There is no disability. There is no visually challenged. There is no physically challenged because of the information technology. Say, for example, the Paralympic. Paralympic in the sense, if a person who doesn't have a leg, he can get that artificial leg connected with some technology and so on. He can walk and he can run in the races and so on. So that is why I tell you that disability study is not that thing, but everything is equal. And then we find that the shift from biomedical notion of disability to a social constructionist view. So it is a biomedical view actually. It is a biomedical view, and we should not say that this is the biomedical view, but we have the social equality. We must have that. We should not give any social stigma to a person. Okay, and then it is a dynamic. Everything is a dynamic. Okay, the environment is also dynamic, and so on. So now we can have that the important features of post-humanism. The important of features of post-humanism is the intelligence is more formal manipulation of symbols. It is only the manipulation of symbols. When we have the manipulated symbols, we create something new. We created something new, and Moravec paradox is there. So please browse through this particular concept, that is Moravec paradox. It will be very useful for those who are interested in doing research in post-humanism and transhumanism. We can have this Moravec paradox. What does what does it refer to? The Moravec paradox. It is you are the cyborg, and the cyborg is in you. So what I tell you is you are the cyborg in the sense we people are cyborgs. Okay, and then cyborg is in you in the sense we knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, we use the technology right now. We use the information technology, and we are living assisted with the technology and so on. And then it is a body is dematerialized, and then it is dematerialized into informational pattern in the sense everybody now we have numbers. Everybody has numbers, no numbers of your PAN number, your bank details, and OTP and everything. Now unless you know your numbers of a particular thing, you cannot live in this particular world, in the society, especially in a post-human era. Okay, and rematerialized into something productivity. And Beth Lofreda called pulp fiction, I mean, sorry, the pulp science. What this man says is pulp science in the sense science is available everywhere. Science is available everywhere. As in postmodernism, there was a pulp fiction. That pulp fiction was available, and it can be read by anybody else. Anybody else. Okay, like that. The science. Okay, the communication technology. It is used by any other person, including irrespective of what should I say, literate, illiterate, and everything. Anybody can use that pulp science. That means the science is available for everybody else, everything and anybody else. Okay, and then post-human is nothing but the union with the intelligent machine. It is a union with the intelligent machine. You just understand, my dear friends, post-humanism is union with the intelligent machine. Intelligent machine is there. So now we are united with the intelligent machine for its assistance to live in a proper way. That is the point. And then no essential differences. the absolute demarcations between bodily existence and computer simulation, cybernetic mechanism, biological organism, and robotechnology, and human goals and everything. There is no difference. Everything is equal. Right now, some people have discovered and what should I say, invented Robo. The robots are used to give medicine for the corona affected patients. So that is the point here I would like to tell you. There is no difference between robo, mechanism, animal, and human being, and so on. That is what that post-humanism says. And another point I would like to tell you is it is an artificial life, and biologically unaltered Homo sapiens counts as post-humanism. Say, for example, the biologically it is not altered. Homo sapiens are not biologically unaltered. I mean, biologically not altered, but that beings are also called post-human because they need to undergo certain medical examination and so on. Okay, so that is the thing. And then Gilles Deleuze and Philly Guattari, they say that they connected this post-humanism to capitalism, and they say that they can call it body without organs. The machines are called body without organs, and we people, human being, are also sometimes we have a body without organs in the sense we have certain pacemaker for artificial heart. Okay, we have certain machines and implanted within our body itself. That is the point. And then this deconstruction and a liberal humanist subject in cybernetic, it is used. Actually, liberalist humanist in the sense the person can create his own imagination. Through the imagination, he can create something new, either with the assistance of a technology or the communication technology and so on. So that is the point. So here also we find deconstruction in order to create something new. Okay, so that is the point. And informational processes, every human being is processed by information. So that is the point here. And then you find that Neuromancer, it is written by William Gibson, and he is called the father of, he has coined the term called the cyberpunkism. And what he says is, in his fiction, that is Neuromancer, he says, human is data made flesh. Human is data made flesh. You find that we have data, we have so many data in ourselves. Okay, so that is why he says human being is a data made flesh, it becomes post-human. Okay, and then cybernetics is a nowadays the cybernetics is a kind of a discipline to be studied in universities, in colleges, and so on. And we have that actually it is a kind from the Greek word that is steersman. That means the nascent theory of information. What is nascent theory of information? In the sense, what is now existing, what is now available according to this information technology and so on. So this is the three. I mean, this is the point. And another point I would like to tell you is cybernetics empowers three powerful actors. The first actor is information, the second actor is the control, and the third actor is the communication. So these things are concocted together in the cybernetics. Okay, and then the next point I would like to move on to is the three waves of cybernetics. The first way of cybernetics is nothing but the traditional scientific protocols. It is only the traditional way of dealing with the science. Okay, and this man, Lawrence Kibbe, he is a Freudian psychoanalyst. He says, what he says is every word is reflexive. Every language is reflexive. See, he says every utterance is doubly encoded. Every utterance is doubly encoded. How every utterance is doubly encoded? Here you find that a statement about the outside. If you say this painting is beautiful, this is the statement. If you say that this statement is beautiful, it is outside about the painting. And at the same time, in which context you are telling that this painting is beautiful. in which psyche and what made you feel beautiful. So that is the point. It is a mirroring the reflecting the speaker's psyche. So that is the point. So every word, every language is associated with doubly encoded. Doubly encoded. It is a statement given by Lawrence Kibbe. He is a Freudian psychoanalyst, and so on. Yes. Okay, the next thing is the second wave of cybernetics. In the first wave of cybernetics, we saw that only the basic ideas, the earlier ideas about the science. Now we have the second wave of cybernetics. We have that cybernetics is to refine the homeostatic systems. So it is not changed. Okay, at the same time, it is to alter for the sake of the development, for the sake of development and so on. And it started in 1960, and first wrote essays. That essays are collected together, and it was formed as a book that is observing systems. In this observing system, he called that Foster called that second order cybernetics. And the second order the cybernetics, the people, they are cybernetics. Okay, and then we have that the next point is the third wave of cybernetics. We have that artificial life and computer programs designed to allow creature in the sense the computer program that create creatures, as well as that artificial creatures become a kind of beings in the world. Okay, and that is the point. And then everything is to evolve informational code and so on. And then it undergoes a significant shift. It is significant shift and so on. And then Jean-Francois Lyotard's theory, that is incredulity towards meta-narratives. This particular theory that has made all other scientists to develop something new, to develop something technological oriented things. So that is why the most of the post-human writers, post-human theories, post-human thinkers, they say is the postmodern theories have accepted all kinds of new things, and so on. And then the recent fictions. The recent fictions, for example, as I told you, the Neuromancer, it talked about the data met flesh and so on. And information in recent fictions, they have the informational technologies like cyberpunk and informatics as a core theme. Informatics as a core theme. And then the information technologies are core themes in the recent fictions. Okay, I'm going to give you certain list of fictions which talk about post-humanism and so on. Okay, and then the next point we can pass on to this. Yes, we can pass on to this one. It is biometrics, and its major shift in the construction of bio values. We have two generations. The first generation of biometrics and the second generation of biometrics. It can be in future. All certain things can be in the future. The first biometrics, under the first generation of biometrics, we have fingerprints. Now we use it fingerprints in our mobile phones and so on. And ultrasound fingerprints and iris scan. Already we would have done it. Okay, and then voice recognition, computer keystroke dynamics, skin patterns, and food dynamics. When you walk, it can recognize your food dynamics, and hand geometry and facial recognition. It is also you are doing that, and ear shape and signature dynamics. These are all the things. These are the points are coming under the first generation of biometrics. In the second generation of biometrics, we have neural wave analysis, skin luminescence, and remote iris scan. Okay, advanced facial recognition, the body order. With your body order, it can recognize any gadget, any computer, or any gadget can recognize. Passport controls, banking controls, and social welfare, and criminal investigation. For everything, it is used for this second generation of biometrics. These are the points. So these are all the points. It can be used as themes in the oncoming fictions by future writers and so on. Already we have certain things. In spite of it, I'll tell you that. And then critical post-humanism. Post-humanism, which talks about there is no difference between animal being, human being, and machine. Okay, so like that, here we have the critical post-humanism. It is not that the critical post-humanism in the sense it is somewhat critical, but it is giving importance to animal studies. Okay, it emerged from animal studies, and this it gives the engineering of a species in the sense of creating new animals and so on, and consequent oppressions and annihilation of a species and so on. And then Dana Haraway, what she says is human, animal, machine hybrids that are called cyborgs. But I tell you that it is a hybrids. Instead of telling that in post-colonialism, Homike Baba, what he said is hybridity. But here, Dana Haraway says it is a cyborgs, that is hybrids. Okay, a major political shift from called the philosophical. Okay, and then Lipit, what he says is the wildlife from human lives. That this modernity disappeared. Okay, in modernity disappeared, and disappeared the concept of wildlife from human lives, and the modernists, they did not give importance to wildlife. Okay, and what now we have is this post-human era. We have the equality among wildlife and human beings and so on. Here we find that from a literary perspective, I tell you that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, what she said is the first science fictional monster. It is not that the first science fiction, but fictional monster is imaginary creature. Okay, it is found in Frankenstein. And what who demands here? Frankenstein is treated as a human being. Okay, so that is why who is given here? Who demands that he is also given here? The third person singular is also given here. Okay, for this monster, for referring to this monster, that he be treated as a human with human rights. With human rights, it asks. Okay, it inquires. It demands the human rights and so on. So here it is a kind of a critical post-humanism. In the fiction of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, we find the critical post-humanism. Okay, and then my dear friends, Stevens, Mr. Hyde, there is another monster. The monster becomes a bestial like animal. The person becomes bestial like animal in the sense there is no difference. A man becomes animal becomes a man, animal becomes a human being, and so on. So division of human and animal influenced the post-humanism. I told you, the division of human and animal, that influenced post-humanism and so on. And animals are treated as members of the family if they are pet. Okay, if they are pet, certain cows are used, they are members in their families. In agricultural point of view, it is a kind of object, and it is exploited more. Okay, and then among the animal groups, it expects that animal rights and its citizens and so on. And what we have, that H.G. Wells, a classical fiction, that is you find that the island of Dr. Mario, that Mario makes animal as humans. You find that animals are made human. He what does he do is he educates a pig. First of all, he educates a pig, and pig is also able to speak. Pig is also able to get education and so on. So animal men kinship, this kind of a relationship is maintained in H.G. Wells. Okay, so this is the point I would like to tell you for critical post-humanism. And then transhumanism. Transhumanism are the means of becoming post-humanism. Okay, transhumanism or the means or the media or the via media for post-humanism, and we cannot leave this transhumanism and critical post-humanism when we talk about post-humanism. Okay, in this man, Italian poet Dante Alighieri, what he says in his Divina Commedia, and he used this verb for the first time, that is transhumanare. There's a transhumanare that means becoming transhumanized, becoming human into another species, and so on. Yes, and then there is a singularity. Singularity is there. The technological singularity is there. Okay, and then I'd like to tell you another point is, yes, my dear friends, allied key concepts in transhumanism. Allied key concepts in transhumanism, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, in the sense you find it is a simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. Computers are right now very, very intelligent rather than human beings. Okay, and then it is intelligent, the capability of a machine, the machine's capacity, the machine's ability to behave like a human being. So that is the point. In what should I say? There is a paper called a proposal for Dartmouth and summer research project on artificial intelligence. That the paper was written by John McCarthy, Marvin L. Minsky, Nathaniel Rochester, and Claudius Shannon. But here, McCarthy has a very lion share in this particular paper. That is why McCarthy is called the father of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. And this particular paper talked about artificial intelligence more and more. And then we have three important points. I mean, major writers, major thinkers. The first one is German polymath Gottfried Leibniz. He created the logical thinking device. This logical thinking device can be called the steps reckoner. Steps reckoner, that is the mechanical calculator for the first time. So this is the product of artificial intelligence, first of all. And then secondly, Thomas Hobbes, okay, Prophet of Artificial Intelligence, which talks about the ratiocination of a mechanical process of thinking. Mechanical process of thinking, how our human being and human minds are thinking in the step by step to create something new with the assistance of technology and so on. And thirdly, we have Rene Descartes. Rene Descartes is called the father of modern philosophy, and he discovered the systematic as algebra and so on. So these three people are very, very essential. These three people are very basic, the forerunners, the forefathers for this artificial intelligence. So transhumanism, that includes artificial intelligence. This artificial intelligence makes the writers and the fictional writers, the dramatists and scientists to create something new. Okay, so and another point I would like to tell you is geoengineering. Geoengineering can be called terraforming, another term called terraforming, and it is creating artificial clouds and artificial clouds and dynamics of the atmosphere, the changes of atmosphere, the changes of clouds and artificial raining and so on. So now we are living in this post-human era because everything is artificially changed because of the assistance of technology and so on. The second point is brain machine interface, BMI. So a communication technology between a human or an animal brain. Okay, a communication technology is used in the human being's brain or else animal being's brain and so on. That is the interface. Interface signals from the brain to an external piece of hardware or the technology that sends signals to the brain. Vice versa. Your brain will understand the interface of another hardware system simulation, and that simulation makes your brain to act upon to act upon. That is the vice versa concept here. We find that this is what we call brain machine interface and so on. Okay, we find another term called DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, and this agency was the first agency to record human beings brain's activity from EEG, electroencephalogram. Through this device, human beings waves are calculated, alpha wave, theta wave, gamma wave. No, these waves are calculated through the device called EEG. Okay, this EEG is also coming under this brain machine interface to understand our attitude and so on. And brain machine interface controls a person's emotional state in the sense we can nowadays there is development in psychiatry. There is emotional modulator medicine is also given to a person, and normally he is a person of psychiatric disease, but that medicine has made something new, something normal being. That is why human beings are living in post-human era. And then the brain information communication research laboratory, and it talks about the nanotechnology and biotechnology for that improving a person's brain. Still now there is surgery is also going, that surgery that involves in a brain to become a normal human being and so on. Okay, the device is also fitted. Like a pacemaker and so on. Yes. The next point I would like to tell you is cloning. Cloning is genetically identical and with a single progenitor to create a new progenitor, to create a new thing. It happened in human beings also, and in what should I say? We have that in agriculture also. We have that kind of a thing. Okay, and then cloning carries the possibilities of more control. If we create everything through the cloning, it has more possibility to control human beings and so on. And then the next point I would like to tell is uncontrollable genetically designed pandemics. Undesigned pandemics in the sense, I would like to give you certain examples for this later. And then electroceuticals. We find that the another point, that is a fourth point, is electroceuticals. Electroceuticals is nothing but the cyber pharmaceutical prison. The cyber pharmaceutical prison. It is classified as bioelectronic medicine. It is classified as bioelectronic medicine is used to a person to become a normal human being and so on. It cells carry electrical currents in our human body. Every cell has electrical currents and so on. That cells can be modified and moderated by the external currents, by the external device to stimulate and to simulate to be a normal human being and so on. And essential for nervous system, actually this is the cell transfusion, and the same time the currents which cells carry, no, it is very important for that brain's function to the body and so on. And then it is why this electroceuticals are used in order to treat chronic pain and disease. Okay, it is known as bioelectronics or else neuromodulators. Bioelectronics or else neuromodulators that are coming under the electroceuticals. What I tell you is transhumanism. I am talking about transhumanism. These things are made to make a person as a human being first of all. Okay, and to what should I say, to replace certain inabilities and certain handicapped and so on. So that is the point. So from this point of view only, we became post-humanism. It is because of the transhumanism. Actually interdisciplinary is something what should I say, one discipline with another discipline, that's all. Only two things are there, only two disciplines are there. The transdisciplinary in the sense, it crosses many disciplines like communication, electronic technology, and mechanical, medicine, biology and so on. That is why we have a transhumanism. We come across various fields to become a post-human era, to become post-humanism. And then it is persons with a pacemaker is using the electroceutical device. As I told you earlier, there is a pacemaker is also used by some people to make a person's heart in a proper rhythmic beat, rhythmic beat and so on. And then transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulator. It is called a TENS. It is called a TENS. This electroceuticals therapy for pain. This particular TENS, it is a kind of a therapy. It is for a pain. So we human being, we have to undergo certain medicinal advancement, medical advancement, technological advancement in the 21st century. So that is why we are living in post-human era. Okay, and then genetically modified organism. Genetically modified organism, we find that nowadays we used to have that genetically modified organism like a food like corn and microwave dinners and so on. And then human genomics. The Human Genomic Project HGP. It's a kind of biotechnology. Okay, this biotechnology that changes a human being's DNA structure and the DNA sequencing from a double helical structure, and that it is changed hither and thither. Okay, it is for giving something new. So it is happening in the medicine or in the biology, in the biological field and so on. And then I would like to tell you. Uh, some works some works and authors and the themes about themes about the this post-human era. And then number one, Aldous Huxley. And then Brave New World. In the Brave New World, advancement of science affecting human being and controlled information. And then this is the theme in a Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And then in George Orwell 1984, we find that controlled information is there. And Kazuo Ishiguro, and his now this fiction is Never Let Me Go. In this Never Let Me Go, we find that ethics of cloning. Ethics of cloning is not a healthier one, but here what they give is ethics of cloning. You find that. Okay, ethics of cloning, this is the what should I say, it is a revolution. Here we find that revolution. But in those days, what we have to undergo certain informational technologies and computational technologies and medicinal advancements, that are what we call that is a revelation. But purposefully they do that ethics of cloning. It is called that it is a revolution. Revolutionary things are happening, and donors to donate their organs. Okay, they are ready to donate their organs and so on. And then the complete life creating and life merging technologies are there in life. Sorry, this Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Okay, and then Italo Calvino, Mr. Palmer, we find that a human, one of several animals and species. Okay, that is the theme. Yeah, and then the Dana Haraway's essay, that is the Cyborg Manifesto. It is the rejection of both utopian and dystopian. Okay, utopia is nowhere, but dystopian is imaginary science, imaginary world. So it rejects that imaginary world and so on. And then William Gibson's Neuromancer. We find that the three-dimensional virtual reality image software, these concepts are there. Neuromancer. I tell you, my dear friends, if you have a time and if you find this Neuromancer, you please read at least this particular Neuromancer, or else this Cyborg Manifesto, to understand what is post-humanism and the real things what is happening around the world. Okay, and then Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, as I gave you the example, that is a human rights, and monster has to be treated as a human, human with human rights and so on. And then Arl Stevens, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Hyde is a monster and he becomes like an animal and so on. And then H.G. Wells, The Island of Dr. Mario, and he talks about the kinship between the animal and the human beings and so on. Yes, the next point I would like to tell you is for the important works on artificial intelligence. The important works on artificial intelligence, we have that the tale of Thorleif, The Earl's Poet. It is translated by Judith Jesch. And then the next work is The Street of Crocodiles. It's written by Bruno Schulz, and it is translated by Madeline G. Levin. And then third one is The Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. And then Adventures of Pinocchio, Carl Colladio. That is Carl Colladi and translated by Annie Lanson Lucas. And then Cyborg Manifesto, so Donna Haraway. So these works that talk about artificial intelligence, and then the Putter Messer papers, Cynthia Ozick, and on Doll's edit, it is edited by Kenneth Gross. And then the eighth one is He, She, and It. It is by Madge Piercy. And the ninth one is Cloud Atlas, David Mitchell. The tenth one is the last one is that is Golem. It is translated by Mike Mitchell. These works are talking about the artificial intelligence. If you read all these, at least one of either of the books, okay, either of the books, if you read that, you will find the reality of artificial intelligence and so on. Now we have that Internet of Things. Okay, Internet of Things, IoT. Now we have that. Like that, we have the post-human era. And then we find the next slide is some books on transhumanism. Some books on transhumanism. The work is The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. Ernest Becker. It talks about neurotic symptom of our inability to accept our own mortality. Okay, we are not able to accept our mortality because we are assisted with the device. We are assisted with the medicinal development, the medical development, and so on, the technological development. That is why it is a kind of neurotic symptom of our inability to accept that our own mortality. Okay, so because we have that kind of inability. Okay, because of the medicinal advancement, and then the singularity is never when humans transcend biology. It is by Kurzweil. It talks about the singularity of artificial intelligence is a powerful technology. These things are used. And then the third one is Techniques and Civilization, 1934. We find that Lewis Mumford, it talks about machine age, industrial revolution, but humans treat other as machines. Nowadays, we say that we treat the people as machines. Sometimes that machine treat as human beings. Okay, like that it is a kind of vice versa and so on. It's a cyborg manifesto. Again, you find that the cyborg manifesto for post-humanism, cyborg manifesto for the transhumanism, cyborg manifesto for the critical humanism. Yeah, but it is especially for the feministic attitude. It is a feministic essay. So we that is why I tell you it is available. Cyborg manifesto is available on the net. Dana, it is written by Dana Haraway. You please read that Cyborg Manifesto to understand. Okay, the sci-fi idea of the Cyborg Manifesto, and it is to say the feminist uses. Okay, and then 0K. It is written by Don DeLillo, and it talks about the technology and strange apocalyptic information. And then we can say that you find, my dear friends, here it is a Robowriter. It is a Robowriter. Hereafter, we have to compete with robots only, not that the human beings. Because some people are, some scientists, they are trying to put a human brain into robo mind. Okay, robo mind. So it may be very, very fast. It may be very fast, and it will be very difficult to compete with them. Okay, it may happen. It may happen. Here we find that it is a robo writer. It writes Bible. It writes Bible. It's a proper way. In a proper way, it writes Bible. Okay, so this kind of thing we are going to learn hereafter. And then the results. Why do we study, and what are the results of post-humanism? It is not that, no, it is not that only the black marks on the white pages. We cannot say literature as black marks on the white pages, but it has certain things. It has certain values. Okay, and then we say that it is arbitrary. Language is arbitrary by Saussure. Okay, A word does not have a proper relation with the particular meaning. That is the concept of arbitrary by Ferdinand de Saussure. But what here we find that as a result of a post-humanism, the arbitrary is there, but the arbitrary gives a relationship, relationship between the specified and the relevant codes. The specified and the relevant codes. So the arbitrary given by the real meaning for arbitrary given by Saussure is rejected. Okay, here we find that deconstructive idea. Here we find that postmodernist idea. Here we find that. That is why earlier I saw that I told you that this post-humanism is based on the deconstructive idea and so on, and then result of the technologization of human beings. So there is no difference between technology and human beings and so on. And then elitist in the modern era, elitists were there. That elitists, they were able to identify and read the things. They were able to read books because they are sophisticated. They were sophisticated, and then they know how to read, and they know the language, they know that the concept of modernism and so on. But whereas postmodernism, the elitist people are rejected. Here also we find that elitism, which means the elitists, they must have chips in their body, the implants of chips in their body. They can overact, they can overreach, they can overspeak, they can do everything in a jiffy. They can do anything else. That is why in a post-human era we say that elitist people, they have chips implanted in their body, and then they will be part cyborgs. Everybody is a part of a cyborg right now. And then we have to smart machines to control the few human. Only a few humans are able to be controlled by smart machines. Okay, but all the other human beings are having the post-human idea and so on. In the future, we find the themes as follows. Okay, the themes as follows: a poem on 3D hip joint dysfunction, a melancholic poem on lifeless battery in artificial stomach. Okay, a novel on artificial lungs written policy, and then a fiction. A novel on a fiction on air cell phone implant at 30 lakhs. Okay, and then a fiction on human brain or organic in a robo body. Okay, so these things are going to happen in future, and then you find, my dear friends, this is the picture I would like to tell you is that is a post-human. How the post-human would be in future? He has a meta brain. Meta brain is brain about brain is called a meta brain. Okay, the external layer. Then that you find that the knee, in this knee we find the turbocharged suspension flexibility. The turbocharged, you find that suspension flexibility for the knee, and then smart skin is also given. Then the replacement organs. If organ is in a state of dysfunction, it can be replaced by machine and so on. And then it is what should I say? The internal layer is also given. So this is the cyborg human beings picture, and he will compete us. He will compete us in future. Okay, it is a nanotech data storage memory system. We find that it is a nanotech data storage in the sense it is very large one to store the data and so on. And then you find that in the chest you find that cardiac flow and function monitor. Cardiac flow and function monitor is also given here in the post-human era. It happens in the sense some people have the pacemaker for heart. Okay, some artificial limbs, artificial legs, and artificial stomach, and certain things are implanted by some people. Okay, so that is the point I would like to tell you about the post-human. This is the picture, and yes, my dear friends, I have taken these ideas from these following books. Okay, these following books helped me a lot to say something about post-humanism. Not that more on post-humanism, but only a few things about post-humanism, transhumanism, and then critical post-humanism. Okay, so with this, I complete my small presentation on post-humanism, and it is, yeah, what should I say? It is an ocean. It is an ocean to learn more things on post-humanism. So thank you very much, and I apologize again for that technological problem happened in the morning, and somehow I managed it, and I have delivered my webinar lecture right now. So thank you very much for for listening to me, and I have to thank all the participants, and I have to thank HOD and the convener, HOD Rama, and convener Savitha and Albert sir, the assistant professor of English, and my dear fellow colleagues. Thank you for participating. Thank you very much. So please post your questions.
I kindly request the attendees to post your queries, if any, in the live chat stream. So there was an earlier query about chips being put into human minds.
Yes.
So is this also part of post-humanism?
Uh-huh. Yeah. That is also part of post-humanism. What I tell you is, a human being is assisted with technology or else any medicinal advancement. He or she becomes post-human first of all. We are living. We are living in this. Actually, that is why in 1999 itself, Hale's book, that is how we became post-human. So in 1999 itself, it happened. Post happened in those days itself. Now we have in the 21st century. So that means we are not going towards post-humanism, but we are living in post-humanism right now.
Thank you, sir. If there are any other queries, kindly post them in the live chat stream. Sir, can you see the screen? There is a query by an attendee. Sir? Yes, sir. You can
I
go
think
back to your browser into StreamYard. So the participant says that I want to ask, in this post-human era, is tracing human subjectivity possible or not? In the post-human era, tracing human subjectivity is possible or not?
I think we have lost his connection. No? Walter?
He will be back
Will?
now.
Oh.
I kindly request the participants to wait a while till Dr. Veeramani gets back to us. He has been having connectivity issues due to power failure and caused by rain in his area. So I request you to kindly be patient till he can rejoin us.
Walter,
Yes, ma'am.
do we have to check with him?
Yes, ma'am. Kindly check with
Because
him, ma'am.
he might not be knowing that his connection got disconnected.
No, I think he knows because he has he's not there in the stream. He has been having issues because due to power failure caused by heavy rain. So that is why. Yes, he has joined us back. Yes, sir, you are back. Veeramani, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello,
So
one.
the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so the
Is
next
my sister?
query, I'll just make it appear on the screen, sir. You can you see the question, sir, on the screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Something I want to ask that in this. Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
So the question is not visible, sir. The visible.
Is yeah, 1 minute, sir. It is now on your screen, sir.
Sir, yes. Walter.
Yes, sir. Sir, you are not audible.
Okay.
Ah, your voice is breaking, sir.
It's now on my screen.
Yes. Now you are audible. Please go ahead, sir.
Question, sir. I can.
I think we may have to
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
we
Walter.
may have
I
to
think,
go ahead to the formal vote of thanks
yes,
because
yes.
we can always get the questions from the attendees and send them by email to the resource person. Shall we go ahead, ma'am, Rama ma'am? Uh, your kind
Yes,
comments,
please,
ma'am,
Walter.
on the session.
I think it's been quite a complex theory involving a number of major French philosophers and theorists. But Dr. Veeramani has been able to put it in, I mean, in a capsule which is in a swallowable mode. So I think he's done a very good job of that. And on behalf of our department, I think I have to express my immense thanks to him. I'm sure many of the research scholars who are working on in this area might have benefited a lot out of it, and he has motivated many of us to go back and revisit post-human theories and read a lot about it. So I think we'll move to the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we move on to the formal vote of thanks, I would like to say that the link which is posted now in the live chat stream is the feedback link for today. Please go ahead and you can fill that and submit. Uh, it gives me immense pleasure to give the vote of thanks today as an end to a wonderfully informative day one of the faculty development program organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai. Uh, Despite several setbacks we've had today, we were able to have the session this afternoon. So, firstly, I would like to thank the Almighty for showering us with His grace and blessings for the smooth conduction of the program. And I would like to thank and place on record my sincere appreciation to our guest speaker, Dr. S. Veeramani, Assistant Professor in English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, for accepting to be our resource person today. Despite so many problems, he had connectivity issues due to power failure caused by rain. He was able to come back and always make his lecture presentation very vivid and lively with his insightful analysis and exemplary knowledge on post-humanism. And we are grateful to have in our midst a resource person of his caliber. I thank you very much, sir, for your time, not only during this live webinar, but before for the preparatory trials. Despite the fact that you had a hectic schedule yourself, you took time off from it to be with us today. Thank you, sir. I would like to also sincerely thank the head of our department, Dr. Rema, for her incredible support and motivation. But for you, ma'am, we would not have had the guidance to do so much, and it goes without saying that we are eternally grateful to you for being with us constantly throughout the day, either physically or on call, ever ready to offer your support. And everything goes right when you have a hand in it. I have no words really to express my gratitude. Thank you so much, ma'am. I will be failing in my duty if I don't place on record my sincere thanks and appreciation to my co-coordinator, Assistant Professor Dr. S. Savitha, and I need not draft a formal vote of thanks for her because it comes naturally to me. And I would like to mention that she is a person who speaks less and works more, and she has been very instrumental in coordinating this entire program right from its conception. I admire her not only for her professionalism but also for her quick wittedness and advice at the most crucial time. Her experience, meticulousness, and devotion to duty are something that I will always look up to. I wholeheartedly am grateful to you, ma'am. To all our department faculty members who have contributed to the success of this event, with their constant moral support, I would like to say a very big thank you. United we stand, I would always like to say. And last but not least, I thank each and every faculty member and PhD aspirant for their participation today and cooperation in making this live webinar a success. Thank you, one and all. Yes, ma'am. Shall we go ahead and end the session, ma'am?
Yes, Walter. Walter, tomorrow's session is in the morning that you just